What's up, everybody? Welcome to the epilogue of the Justice League, the Snyder Cut. Now, we're actually recording this a couple days after our other video, the last chapter of that. We were intending to record it all at once, and then have it be just one video, but then we talked about it for like 6.5 hours, over 6.5 hours that night. And I was just so brain dead. I was like, I gotta stop. I gotta go to bed, dude. This movie, when I stop and I think about it, it makes me so mad. It's just because it's such a waste of not only potential but fucking money. A vast waste of money. Like, the amount of money thrown into these properties, into marketing alone, you could fund like an entire one of these small countries could get food for a year. At least, if not for longer. Right? A whole fucking country, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. And not only that,
just like ridiculous.
It's also a perfect example of needing to reorder the source material so that the mainstream audience can get it.
But even then,
because Harry Potter does it.
Yes.
And it's like, it's the source material is the book, but it's not like assuming people have read the books, right?
It takes liberties.
It's not like giving you the exact same experience as the book. It's the book translated into movie format. And
the books are always going to be better because they're longer. Unless you, like, turn it into a limited TV series. Like, what's that one based on It was the Golden Compass back in the day. It's on HBO.
His Dark Materials.
Yeah, His Dark Materials. Yeah. Like, that had a lot more going on in it. But and I've never read the books, but having watched that TV show on HBO and having watched and, like, really enjoyed the Golden Compass, it's cool to watch that and see things in there that you're like, oh, well, they had to take that out because of the movie, you know what I mean? And with the TV show, but with this, if this is the source material, I wouldn't even be bothering.
Well, yeah, well,
that's because here's the thing, we don't really know.
Yeah.
We don't really know, but we do know that this doesn't make sense. So
I don't even know if like diehard DC fans are gonna like this. Like people who do dig into the source material and know by heart.
I have no idea either, because I know that a lot of those guys don't like a lot of the Marvel movies.
Right.
Because of shit they do. I know a lot that they don't like a lot of the X-Men movies because of the shit they do to characters. Like, for instance, the Nightcrawler cage match with Angel, where Nightcrawlers can teleport anywhere, but he can't get out of the cage because it's electrified.
Yeah.
That's because we want to have a fucking cage match with Angel and Nightcrawler.
Because remember...
It's super important that we make it Angel and Nightcrawler.
Remember Wolverine in the first X-Men?
That makes me angry because it's like, you know how many characters there are that you could have engage in a cage match, and you just pick the one that you want, which is Nightcrawler, and it just so happens to make no sense.
The one character.
So you're just like,
escape and
electric fences. He can't get through electric fences. Electricity distorts his ability to fucking teleport through walls. That was annoying. But the thing mainly with this thing, which we'll be getting into further along. For now, we're going to pick back up and just finish this because it's the epilogue, thank God, and we're almost done. But once we're done with this, we'll talk about some things that we felt. And we're going to argue the point that even if you had more movies, if they were all this poor, it wouldn't matter. And like, it's not that they didn't have enough time to properly convey a cohesive story. I feel like they had all the time in the world. When you consider how long these movies have been, like, how long was Batman versus Superman?
Like 2
hours? So long, dude.
2 hours and 19 minutes or something.
And you have the time to do things. It's just that you decide, and you, like you were saying, where you take liberties of the source material and you make it a different experience, and that's fine and dandy, and I agree with that. But if you're going to do that, you got to make sure that it's for the betterment of everything going on. For instance, in the case of, I always like to pull this example because it's so solid, but the crippling of Aragorn's character for the cost of that's the cost, and for the sake of having a romance between him and what is her name?
Arwen.
Liv Tyler play out.
Arwen.
And the thing
Arwen
about that,
half-elven.
and the thing about that is this not only cripples Aragorn's character, wherein he is grown up wanting to be king, you know, all of this stuff.
Right.
It also cripples Elrond's character because it makes him, during the whole thing, look like a friggin' elven racist who's against humans, who's just like, humans will never be good because Isildur effed up and like took the ring. So like forever eternal, humankind, and like, you're not good enough for my daughter because she's gonna have to give up her immortality, foregoing the fact that Elrond's own brother gave up his immortality so that he could die with his Númenórean wife that he had married. Right? These are things that it cripples. It's like, oh dude, another perfect example is that horrible Netflix series based on the Death Note anime.
Oh yeah.
That movie, it wasn't even a series, it was a movie. It was so bad.
And that's the thing,
so
is
bad.
I don't think you need to take creative liberties with the source material, but I'm saying repackaging the source material and translating it into movie format.
Yes. And it has to be,
like, This is a very poor example of doing that cohesively.
Oh, yeah.
Because I could even point out flaws with the Harry Potter series where they didn't add details from the books, and there were certain things where they were just like, we'll have a 15-minute scene of him flying on a dragon around Hogwarts. Yeah. We don't need to fill that with important information from the books.
I think that was the worst one. I hate how they glossed over the World Cup.
Yeah.
In that fourth one.
The tournament,
yeah, and they gloss over a lot of stuff. That was, well, that's the fifth one, was that one that was at the start of the fourth one, wasn't it?
That was the dragon flying scene was the fourth one, is when he was flying with the dragon around.
But I mean, when they go to the World Cup with Arthur.
I think that was the fourth one.
Is that, yeah, that is, because that's
the Death Eater sign, that's like the...
Mooney is that.
Yeah. Fucking
Bartholomew,
yes, something.
Anyway, but yeah, but the difference there is that when you rewatch those, it's not like the whole thing crumbles apart because of the things left out or the liberties taken and things changed. Like, that's the thing about it. Is
for the most part, all the most important information that you need from the books are in the movies. And that's why it is a good example of repackaging source material and putting it into movie format where it's limited information and having it play well with mainstream audiences, because
like people who do not
as a child, I watched those movies and I was able to follow them from start to finish, and I knew what was going on.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So, but with this movie in the DC universe, it's a perfect example of just not doing that at all.
This movie for kids is going to be like when you look back on those movies that you thought were super awesome because they had like a badass monster or like really awesome action or something, but then you watch it now and you're like, wow, what was I thinking? Like I used to love like dude, I used to,
that was for me.
Yes, that's a good example. That's a good example, but at least but that's not even a good example because that's like, it's kind of aware what it is, you know what I mean? And it embraces that Power Rangers silliness. Yeah, because Power Rangers is a different sort of thing. That's still, like, I could probably watch that today and feel entertained. I haven't watched that in so long, but I bet you. I bet you. Like, we would probably make fun of it and laugh more than anything, but that's kind of the point of it, is it's embracing that BS that was the TV show, you know what I mean? But either way, this is going to be like that. Because when you look back on this and you try to watch this and understand what the hell they were even trying to convey, and it starts to fall apart. Not only with the main villain, but with all the individual characters too. Like, if you don't know anything about the Flash outside of what these movies have told you, how much do you really know about the Flash? Do you really think he's awesome? Do you really think he's a badass character based on this experience alone? It's like Cyborg, yes. Aquaman, yes. Superman, yes. Wonder Woman, yes. But when you look at Batman in this movie, does Batman really seem like a badass Batman? Does he really hold up as the character of Batman, Bruce Wayne, the world's greatest detective? Does he? I don't think he does, and I think that Flash definitely doesn't. The Flash is next to worthless in this. At least Batman can pay for all the toys. What's Flash doing?
Tripping on concrete. In a circle. He helps Wonder Woman get his sword. His big move is to sprint. He holds electrical charges and he sprints really fast. Even in the freaking...
I almost wonder, and this is like how far down the rabbit hole.
Superman, it's like, what's my big move? I'll run really fast.
So I'm like, while we're watching this, I'm like going down rabbit holes, just trying to justify the actions of certain things that happen. And with that, I was like, is this like a commentary on how he's a dumbass because he thought the damsel was in distress when she wasn't. She was fine. She's fucking Wonder Woman. Are you saying
this is a visual metaphor for misogyny in America?
Well, for stupidity. And then I was trailing into it, and I'm like, it's almost a better portrayal of that than the whole Poe Harbo or whatever her name was thing in the Last Jedi. If you really think about it, Haldo. Think about like how that was portrayed, like that he needs to just shut up and pay. Like nothing really happened other than some internal ship drama that led to a mutiny.
You follow me blindly because I've got a vajayjay. All right. I got tits.
You silly laser boy. Hair. You shut up.
You silly male.
I played in Jurassic Park. Dude, I thought she was a villain. I seriously thought she was a villain. I dug in the rhino poo. I was like... It wasn't the rhino poo. It was the Triceratops poo, bro.
It's dinosaur poo.
They were eating those berries because he's like, the animals don't eat them though. It's like, are you sure about that? It's like, what? Why are you planting poisonous berries here, dude? That spared no expense. We even imported poisonous berries or something. It's like an imported thing. I can't remember exactly. It's been a while since that's a great movie too, though. But either way, that I was like trailing into it. I'm like, maybe that's what it is. And if that's what it is, it's true. Like Flash. But here's the thing about it. If that's what it is, it just makes Flash be a dumbass for no reason. It's like in the books where Wolfgar is like getting super overprotective of Caddy Bree.
Yeah.
In the Drizzt novels. And in R.A. Salvatore's Drizzt novels, there's a character named Wolfgar, and he early on has a relationship with a human woman. He's a barbarian, and she's a human woman named Caddy Bree. She's as just a competent fighter as him, and there's this whole arc during one of the books where Wolfgar is getting overprotective of her and being a dick, and it's basically putting everyone's life in danger because he's fucking up the cohesiveness of the 5-man group that has been, successful because everyone has their role to play. And if he doesn't allow her to have her role and his role, which is not to protect her, but to be out there wasting things, then things are going to go bad, right? So, but even in that instance, there's more to it. And it's told with that Artemis Entreri is actually disguised as one of their friends. And he uses a crystal to like basically mess with Wolfgar's mind and put him in a hypnotic trance, which makes him that way, right? We think some of that may have been born of other things and could have
and it goes into the nuance of his character
because
and his
he's a
culture.
Barbarian.
Yeah,
yes,
the barbarians.
They view women as like their property. Yes, so that's what's really unique and cool about that. But this is just like one scene, and what does it do? It does nothing. It hurts the Flash. Yep. It makes the Flash look weak, ineffective, and stupid.
The whole time.
And he does it over and over again. And Batman, what's Batman doing in this movie? Oh, I've got money, I've got cash, I got toys. And like, even the one toy that is made out to be his big project, he doesn't even finish. Cyborg fixes it for him.
And he crashes it for no reason. Only for it to come back
up at the end
in perfect working order. But here's the thing, right? Is like, despite all that, like, I think Flash was done the dirtiest.
Yes.
Because, like, talking about that combat scene real quick for a second.
Yeah, because
all
at
of
least
them have
Batman,
a moment to shine. Batman is doing fucking badass shit up in the battlements and taking down parademons with their own rifles and, like, leaving timed explosives on mounted guns and shit. And then you've got Wonder Woman kicking ass the entire time.
Yeah, Wonder Woman's awesome this whole movie.
Yeah.
The only thing annoying about Wonder Woman in this movie is how much she fucking knows. Because the plot needs her to know everything.
The exposition princess.
Yeah, the plot needs her to know everything, so she knows everything there is to know about everything.
Yeah. But then there's
she
that
knows
scene...
that Darkseid is feared in other universes.
Yeah. But then there's that scene of them, like, storming the gates and all of them are together and it, like, goes to a still from slow motion and it's all of them together like a Justice League moment and it's like the Flash is there. But throughout the entire combat sequence, we never get to see the Flash do anything remotely awesome on the battle.
He does no fighting.
At all.
And he's the Flash!
Like, he's just running in a circle. I can't hold this charge, Victor!
And then he gets shot.
Cries like a
How are you
wounded
gonna get
kid.
shot? This is another huge hole in the Flash's entire part in this movie. Is he does this like he does like these artsy, slow down, basically theft of fucking Quicksilver shit from Marvel, right? But basically the same thing where he's moving so fast. Time appears to stop to him. But then he's gonna get shot in the side by a random parademon. It's like you couldn't see it coming. I thought everything was slow-mo and like in frozen in time when it happens, you know? And then you can save the hot chick in the car, and then you can go not get your job at the dog store so that your dad can tell you he's disappointed in you and he wants you to give up your dream of getting a job at a crime lab so that you could get him out of jail because he's there for murdering your mom, which he didn't do, and he wants you to go on with your life, Barry, and just, you know what, I'm sick of you not getting jobs at dog stores. How are you not going to get the job at the dog store?
How are you not going to get a job to not be able to fund your
I don't know, Dad.
college?
I even brought a hot dog to calm the dogs down.
Yeah.
And I told him a quippy story about a nickel dime. It was hilarious. I don't understand it. I did do 2 ounces of Coke before I left the house to go get the job at the dog store.
Maybe this movie will be a good freaking jump into SNL with Chris Kattan.
If Chris Kattan is looking to make a movie where, like, it's about him and his little brother, that is the guy you need to get.
Yes.
Check out The Flash. He looks so much like Chris Kattan, and he channels him. Mm-hmm. He channels him like crazy.
He has the same energy.
All right, so epilogue. Cyborg is back in his apartment, and he uses cyborg powers to reassemble the tape recorder that his dad had left him earlier and he had crushed. This didn't really make sense to me because I thought he was more able to communicate within virtual things and like machines if they're connected to some sort of network. Like I had thought that was what it was about, but I guess he can just make matter reorganize itself and put itself back together. He's the mother box now.
He's a tech wizard.
A tech wizard. But he like holds his hand out to it and it puts it all back together. That's never established.
Cyber magic.
That's never established that he can like put it all together. Like,
at all. It is.
He crushes it to shit.
It's like shows him being the god of a virtual world, and it shows him fixing the prototype troop carrier.
But he says this one has a software issue.
And then we see him like randomly being able to have random tentacles come out, but they look like data ports, like outlets, and that go into the Kryptonian ship. So we don't know the extent of his powers at all.
No.
It's just like he does what
very unclear.
He does what the script tells him to do.
Because check it out, bro. He's alien tech. And alien tech in this movie and Batman vs. Superman and probably Superman, even though it's been a long time since I watched it, the alien tech just does whatever the movie needs the alien tech to do. It can do it. If it needs to wake up to call out to Steppenwolf to bring him to Earth, it'll do it, and it'll stay awake so that he can find it.
Yeah.
But if it needs to go to bed so that Steppenwolf can have a prolonged search scene through the rest of the movie, it'll go the fuck to sleep.
Now it's weak
it'll
without
go
its
right
masters.
back to bed because the movie needs it to go back to bed.
Yep.
But then if they need it to wake up, it doesn't have enough power to bypass. The computer doesn't have enough power to bypass. It's, oh my. All right, anyway. Whew. Heartfelt speech from his dad, who tells him he is proud of him. This is good. Like, I like Silas's speech to Cyborg through all of this. I think that's like one of the best parts about this ending is like his like dialogue with what's going on. Aquaman says goodbye to Amber Heard. I couldn't remember the character's name when I was right.
Volko.
Is it Mira?
Mira? Oh,
to Mira and Green Goblin. Oh no, I remembered his name.
Mira.
I remembered Willem Dafoe's character's name in this movie, Spider-Man. And then loads some lobster traps and hops in the back of a truck to go see his father.
Because Aquaman
he's gotta be doing fish
he's
shit.
Doing some fish shit. Like, he's going to fishing villages where they worship him. He's bringing them fish in the winter season.
Every scene of him is in, like, Fishland, dude. Like, and on the coast or in the ocean, bro.
And not just him, but, like, all the Atlanteans in general. Remember the mother box forging? In Squidwater. They're just
Squidwater, but
they're fish people.
But she says before then, she says that it was before they had sunk into the sea.
So they were just always into fish.
It just worked out perfectly because they were always super into fish and they loved using tridents to fight with. And they forged their steel in octopus water. So it completely worked out when they did eventually sink underwater. It totally worked out. And then they were mad at the Amazonians. Don't forget that. We don't know why they were, but
for some reason they were at war at some point.
And the Amazonians were enslaved on the island for some reason, for betrayal, for some reason. Heartfelt, anyway. Silas's assistant takes over at Star Labs, and we hear his name for the first time for some reason, Ryan Choi. It's because I guarantee you, that's the reason I said for some reason, is because I had already figured it out, but I wanted to talk about it when we did this.
Right.
But you know what it is, too. Like, I was like, you know why they did that, and you answered exactly what I was thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And they did it because it's a comic book character in the movie, in the comics, and it's like, oh, it's meant to get that illicit response from the audience that loves these movies, and it's like that bothers me
because they never say his name the entire time,
and
then when they do say his name, they make a whole point of it.
Yeah, a whole scene just to say his name.
Microbiology or something.
You know what it reminded me of?
And
this is another thing that I really hate about Nolan's third Batman movie. Was the whole Robin.
Yeah.
Where it like focuses so much time on Joseph Gordon-Levitt and it's so pointless in the end. So pointless in the end. It amounts to nothing. I was like, is he going to be Azrael? I had no idea. I was like, is he who the shit?
No,
nothing. He will be nothing. He was supposedly. And then I was like, he's like
Jason Todd.
Yeah.
That's who it is. It's Jason Todd.
Is it Jason Todd?
I don't know.
Who knows? Who cares?
I just liked seeing Joseph Gordon-Levitt get blown up by Mark Hamill in There was a lot
of that crap in that movie.
Or Heath Ledger.
Where I felt like, and another thing I felt like is, why not just do awesome Bane? Like, Bane's cool enough.
Yeah.
Why does Talia al Ghul all of a sudden have to swoop in?
Gotta be grounded in reality.
She swoops in and takes Bane's backstory.
You can't have some freaking
she didn't even care.
Chemical enhanced freaking
identity theft is a crime, Talia.
Yeah, you can't have some chemically enhanced luchador. It's got to be grounded in reality.
You don't care if you have to make. You don't have to make him a luchador, but make him be from like South America. Have him be like. was
part
tested.
Of a chemical experiment.
Yeah, and you don't even have to do like the backstory where his dad like was...
You could just say he's like a prisoner from like some South American prison.
And they tested on him, and they found this formula that jacked him up, and then have him come in and just
have him have surgery later where he has like implants over his muscles and his bones to make sure that his body can handle that much venom. Yep. And it's like all about making himself the most perfect weapon.
Like the whole breaking of the bat and do Azrael, like, why not? That's another reason. I was just like, fuck you, Nolan. I really liked what he did with the Joker.
Yeah.
It felt in line, kind of, with what the Joker's kind of always been. He's always kind of been different story.
And he did Scarecrow good if you go back and watch Batman Begins.
Oh, yeah. Like, Scarecrow's great.
Just
He's
like
done pretty good.
What is it? Psychiatrist.
Yeah, psychiatrist testing this fear toxin. Yeah.
That's exactly who he is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know.
But that's like what they were doing here. That's like, you should know this name. If you don't know this name, then you didn't read the comics.
Yeah, and it's so like
this is a character from the comics. It's going to be later.
Anyone who didn't watch anything else DC and was just relying on like this stuff to inform them about DC, they're not going to know anything about it.
Mm-mm.
They're not going to know anything about it. They're going to be like, okay.
Just dumbfounded.
That's Ryan Choi. Thank God. He's in charge now.
Cool. We know his name. The dude who was working on the laser. And Silas, like, killed himself for no reason to tag the mother box with a laser. That's the guy we care about.
I can't believe that they tried to pull that off. Dude, that was so badly set up as, like... I mean, it doesn't even make sense until after he does it. And even after he does it, it's like, you watch him disintegrate into goo, and you're just like, even if you understand that he's like heating up the mother box so that they can track it, even if you understand that, why is he doing it? Because he could just walk out the door. He could just walk out the door and run away from behind the room and then do it. Safely behind the room, and then the laser grid won't kill him, and then Steppenwolf will see that all the rest of the Justice League arrived, and he'll take the box and take off anyway, and then Silas can go, hey, it's okay, guys, because I superheated the box with this friggin' laser, and so now we can track it anywhere on Earth. And then Silas doesn't have to be dead, because here's the thing, Silas is dead because he's stupid. There were several options here. Valid.
Yeah.
There were several valid options here, and he is dead because he is stupid.
For starters, Steppenwolf didn't show up until way after the fight with Superman. Like, what were you doing that whole time with the mother box, bro? It was just chilling on top of the roof of the car.
The laser needed to warm up, bro.
Time is happening. You see it is awake, and the enemy is coming. But we gotta show like a 10-minute fight scene with Superman and the Justice League for the fucking showdown between him and Batman.
And
like
Batman's always last to show up everywhere.
Yeah.
Batman's slow as fudge.
But he's dead.
He's dead now.
And this is his successor, some random guy named Ryan Choi. What's your thing? Microbiology, that's your thing, right? Yep, that's my thing.
And he's like, super director Ryan Choi. And it's like a whole scene. We see Bruce Wayne, Alfred Pennyworth, and Diana Prince looking at a dilapidated property that they hope to turn into a Justice League headquarters. Flash visits his dad to tell him he got a job in a crime lab, and his foot's in the door. And his dad cries with happiness, and you're supposed to care, but you can't care because everything about this character and the actor who plays him is
got a
job. Annoying.
He's no longer a hobo.
Annoying. I don't know why they didn't get the Flash from the TV show. I liked that show for like a season and a half, but then I gave up because like, for me, television shows, they stretch themselves out and I get bored of it and I'm like, I can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do it. You're not going to waste my time. You may have a very cool story that could be summed up in 6 episodes, but you want to tell me it in 24.
Yeah.
So I'm fucking off now.
Yeah. I'll usually give those series like a 1 season watcher, and I'm like, all right, my interest is dead now because there's like 5 more seasons after this.
And the thing about that is that even with that being the case, it wasn't because of him or his portrayal as the Flash.
It's just the format.
Yeah, it was exactly. It was the way that they do that.
Yeah.
With shows. I don't have the patience for it anymore.
And that's the thing, is I don't care if you get that actor or not, just like intend for his backstory to be the same as that character. Because from what I understand is if you have the Flash be an established Barry Allen as the Flash, then he should be working at Star Labs after an experiment happens which causes him to be the Flash. And if he's working at Star Labs, then he's already a super intelligent scientist, and I would have him even written that he's been the Flash for a minute, so he knows the capabilities and limits of his powers.
And it could
be, he clearly kind of does, because he's like, I burn a whole bunch of calories.
Yeah.
So,
but it's never explained how he got his powers at all. And the thing about it is this kid may have been able to pull this off. He may have been able to pull this off, but not the way that they did the Flash.
Mm-mm.
And I don't even know if that, I say the actor is annoying, but I don't know if that's his fault. He's probably doing exactly what Zack Snyder wants him to do.
Mm-hmm.
And it's annoying. It doesn't work at all. It's nails on a chalkboard. And it's this whole deal with his dad going from a pet store job that he didn't get. It's what is happening.
Like, quick, come visit me.
What is happening?
But he tells him he's working at a crime lab. He's like, this is a job. Yes, my son's no longer a hobo. You know what I mean? And he has like a freaking meltdown in the jail.
You know what I love is that Batman, Bruce fucking Wayne, can't get Barry a better job than the absolute worst job in a crime lab, because that's what he says. He holds up the thing that says he got the job, and he's like, it's the absolute worst job you could get in a crime lab, but my foot's in the door. And like, so did Batman help him get that? And that was the thing. I was thinking like at the end, he'd like, when it showed him with his dad, I was like, he's gonna say that he got a job at Star Labs, and then we can, like connect him to Star Labs now.
Right.
But like, what's his name? Victor helped him out with some, people who worked there and helped him get a job at Star Labs, and that's where it's going. But instead, once again, it's just, I got the absolute worst job. So once again, Batman
doesn't care about the team that he put together. That's the whole reason why Barry followed you, Batman, is he wanted friends.
Yeah, and that's a good segue into Batman's first appearance in the epilogue.
Oh, yeah.
Because Batman is in so much of this stuff. I don't know what in the hell they were thinking.
Dude.
I know what they're thinking. They're thinking Batman's the coolest damn character on the roster. But here's the issue.
I hate this epilogue.
The way that you do Batman is the absolute worst character on the roster, and for some reason he's the linchpin in the whole Justice League tie together. Yeah. It's him, and he's stupid. Anyway, Batman buys Superman's mom her house back by buying the bank that foreclosed on it.
Yes. He doesn't just go buy the property from the bank.
He's got to buy the bank.
He's so rich that's his move, is he's like, fuck it, I'll buy the bank. I need another bank, Alfred.
And he doesn't
Get me another bank.
He doesn't do it until Superman's back alive and come and helps him. So there's this really passive aggressive shit coming from Batman.
I want you kicking my ass.
Yeah, it's either that or it's
sorry, I let
he doesn't want to spend money on his. He's like, I'm gonna spend money on that guy's mom. Like, we fought, he died, and now I'm left behind. His mom can go live in a fucking house on the side of the diner.
Yeah.
And then he's when he's getting Superman back to life in his brain, he's saying, but if he comes back and he helps us solve this, I'll buy his mom her house back just because. Fuck, you know what? I'll buy the bank that bought his mom's house. That's what I'll do. That's how much I care. That's how
I'll make it.
That's how good I am.
That's how I'll make it.
But only if he comes back and helps the Justice League stop Steppenwolf.
Otherwise, she can just rot in that fucking apartment by the diner.
Yeah. Fuck her. She's alright. She's a hardy old lady, Martha Kent. She never even told anybody that her house was lost.
And then he's like, oh shit, this guy could kill me?
Here's the thing. It's either she didn't tell anybody, it doesn't matter. Like that, you throw that line in there at that point because it's supposed to be like, it's almost like they've thought, what, aren't people going to wonder why Batman didn't buy the house back before Superman came back? And so they have Lois tell Clark, like, she never told anyone, though. She's a proud old woman, you know. She never told anybody. And then Batman, it doesn't matter. Because Batman's the world's greatest detective. And he's going to be, if he has...
Like, he wouldn't just have her already on the computer, like, oh, I wonder what they're doing today.
Yeah. And
especially Lois Lane.
He's got 7 satellites, but he can't figure out that Superman's mom lost her house.
The Flash came to him in a dream and said Lois Lane is the key, but he's like, ah.
I just think it probably would have been a better touch if Batman had already bought Martha Kent her house back.
Yeah.
And that instead of this scene where we see Batman and Superman moving his mom back in, we instead see like a family dinner with Batman. He's got a date, Lois and Clark and Martha, right. And then like they're having family dinner and she's cooking it, and it's then like maybe she just thanks Bruce and he's like, don't mention it, because he already did it, because he's the world's greatest detective and he's Batman, and he would have bought Superman's mom her house back. Even he would have been paying attention. He would have been paying attention. This is what he does. He doesn't sleep. He fucking multitasks like a motherfucker. He's Batman.
He does recon on every person.
Just because he's really rich and he relies on his money and his gadgets to help him in a lot of situations doesn't mean Batman isn't a fucking superhuman being. Okay? I'm just gonna say that. Because he is superhuman. As much as like freaking Bruce Lee was superhuman.
Yeah.
Like people like that who hone their craft.
Like Sherlock Holmes.
Exactly.
Is superhuman.
Yes. It's frustrating because they really did Batman dirty, and I know you care about the Flash more. To me, they could have just had the Flash not even in it.
Yeah. Well, I just think
then they wouldn't have had the battery that needed to charge everything.
Batman gets like really poorly treated.
He does. When you stop and look at his actions and stuff, and then you see his hobo suit.
But then you see that one scene in the fight, and you're like, all right.
Yeah, but that's
cool.
And at least he got that.
That's cool.
You're right. At least he got that. He got a few moments to shine in that last. And like Flash runs in a circle until he gets shot, and then runs in a straight line.
Like a girl.
Yeah, cries like a little kid, and then runs in a straight line, turning back time to once again apply power to the problem. Because that's what he is. He's the electrical current that they need in order to charge the ship or Cyborg or the mother. And the dumb thing is, it's like we pointed out, is he's like touching the mother box. When they're saying that the ship needs power in order to access the mother box, and it was damaged when Luthor, in the piss water, bred a Zod him clone that was Doomsday for some reason. He blew the power, and we need Flash to get that power back. And then Flash touches the mother box
as it touches the water.
Okay.
That'll turn it on.
Don't think about it. Just look at the picture of freaking Robin Hood.
Robin Hood.
The damn picture of Robin Hood sinking into the piss water slowly. Just enjoy the artsy moment, okay? Oh. All right. Cyborg visits his parents' grave, then flies off. And the reason I wanted to put this there because he's got a smile on his face, and he's like there's a super serene look that's like it's not even. It doesn't look like it's a strained smile. Like he's happy because I think in the end he found peace with what had happened. That in his mom's case, his mom, it was just an accident. It was no one's fault. Mm-hmm. And with his dad, he actually saved himself,
sacrificed himself
to save all of humanity. And I don't know how he gets over that, because this is the thing about that was a dumb sacrifice.
Yeah.
And it's really a blemish on what is otherwise an awesome character story with him and his dad. And like the Dr. Frankenstein sort of thing going on, mm-hmm. But instead of it being like more in line with like the comics, which you said, he just kept upgrading Cyborg over and over again.
Yeah.
Because he was like addicted to what he could do technologically to make his son more badass.
Yeah.
But in this, it's more out of desperation, and it doesn't even really make sense because he's like knows that the mother box is alien tech like the spaceship, and it's,
this box looks a lot like the Kryptonian
and he
crap
doesn't. But here's
up here.
the damn box is in the humans in iron encasement. It's still it's still in an encased metal box.
It don't matter.
You don't know what it is.
Kryptonian stuff. Cool.
It's in that until he cuts it out to wake it up because it's alien tech. Yep. You're right. I shouldn't question
similar properties, tech. Different
the
civilizations.
Alien tech in DC movies is airtight.
Both alien in nature.
It's airtight. Anyway, J. Jonah Jameson lights the bat signal, and Batman awkwardly turns his whole body to look at it while standing on a giant tank thing. Because I gotta have my toys!
It's my toys!
It's my toys! It's like a giant tank. God. It's so
This is my
ludicrous.
Gotham City killer, Alfred. I need my city killer.
I need my city killer.
I got a skyscraper filled with penguins, fucking
my prototype
psychos.
My prototype city destroyer, Alfred. Get it working. I need it. I need my toys, Alfred.
Make sure it fits
my toys.
Make sure it fits the carrier. I need more cargo and range.
That stupid freaking thing, dude. Such a big deal for nothing. Man. For nothing. Diana is at the shrine of the Amazons looking towards Themyscira with a longing look on her face, even though the next time we see her it's back in 1984 and she's lassoing lightning bolts and shit.
And still pining over the pine. She pines over pine so much.
She straight up erases a dude's life.
So
she has come full circle to being the new the DC Captain America.
Yeah.
So remember we were talking about that because
except
the first
for
movie is
a
World
little
War
bit
I.
better because then she reverted her wish. So then it's
still,
like that guy could still go on and live his life. In Captain America's case,
she's a woman, bro. She's better than him.
He committed genocide with that move.
Totally did.
Killed off a generation of family.
All I can picture when we see old Captain America is that poor woman's apartment, and you see like all the pictures of her family, of her kids, her grandkids, her and her husband with all of them, all these happy memories, and then all of a sudden it's like he just makes the decision like, fuck it, I'm horny and I love her, and I want a happy ending. I should be able to get a happy ending. Yeah. I'm Captain fucking America.
And he walked up to the family tree and he was like, yep. And he cut this giant branch.
Not even that. I just see all these pictures slowly start to fade away and disappear like Marty McFly's siblings in Back to the Future. How they just fade away. And all of them are all of a sudden just her and Captain America. And he's just got this arm around her, like gripping her to his side, like, I'm never letting you go. I'm never letting you go.
I'm making it to take you to that ball. We're gonna dance.
Every girl should be able to go to a ball.
And we're gonna dance.
Oh, I promised her a dance. I promised her a dance. fuck the grandchildren, fuck the children, fuck
the
that guy.
Children's children's children, the generations of a family that came after that, and all of those people that were living happily ever after. I'm horny, and I am in the past.
And then he's old, and I'm like, hold on. Doesn't the superhuman serum that he was given give him healing abilities and actually prolong his life? Isn't that the reason he was able to survive in the iceberg? Are we meant to believe that anyone could survive in an iceberg now all of a sudden? What is this fucking, what was that stupid movie with Pauly Shore and Sean Astin and Brendan Fraser and Encino Man all of a sudden? What is this?
Back before he was Samwise Gamgee, man.
Yeah. Anyway, Captain America's a dick now. Yep. So we've come full circle.
Wonder Woman is the better version of Captain America.
I tell you what, I enjoy watching Wonder Woman more than I do fucking Cap after that. Cap, that like undermines all of Cap. Dude.
Everything about his
like everything about Cap is under
it's just like
nope. He really, like, it's just the second there's a chance.
Yep.
So that means he was just doing it because he had to.
Like, he could.
Yeah, I had no more choice. If I had the choice to go back in time and say fuck you to everyone here.
Not just back in time, but back in time and back in space, because he's delivering the Infinity Stones.
And it totally fucks up all their logic.
I just imagine Cap, like, crash landing out of space in his suit on, like, freaking some alien planet. All right, here we go. Done. Flies back off into
Infinity
space.
Stone. Anyway. Yeah, but I wish that they would have done something more with her mom and all of them, and I think that's why that opening of Wonder Woman, there's the opening of her as a kid, and then there's also the opening of the mall. And I think that that's because they wanted to have the Amazon culture in it, and that was probably the director just making a concession, because that doesn't even seem like a very good opening
at all.
Like the mall one is the one that's fun and like gets you into it, but the other one, it's so stupid. It's just like, it felt like.
Well, then by the time you get to Pedro Pascal, it's like, all right, I'm checking it out.
Yeah, who even cares anymore?
I'll just watch this for how it looks, and then I'm done.
Until she's lassoing lightning bolts. And you're
like, flying, and you're like, whoa!
DC! Of course she's lassoing lightning bolts and flying on clouds.
Are they telling you the truth?
Then all of a sudden she's flying.
The lightning is telling her the truth.
Does she need to lasso the lightning bolts and run along the clouds to fly? Or does she always just fly?
She has the invisible jet, too.
I've never seen it. I'm calling bullshit. I'm calling bullshit on the invisible jet. I've never seen it.
Oh, man.
Alright. Once again, Flash runs really fast in slow motion and smiles like he just took an amazing shit. I was like, what is that?
He like flows his arms
out. And I was like, dude, it looks like he was constipated. And he finally was able to take a really good shit. And he just feels 10 pounds lighter.
And he ran so fast that he disappears.
Yep. Oh. Clark Kent takes off his glasses and becomes Soups. Lex Luthor escapes Arkham Asylum because that's where Lex Luthor goes when he gets locked up because, you know, he's the Joker now.
Or Batman he's like, I captured you, you're going to Arkham.
I always take him to Arkham.
They'll fix you.
Going to Arkham, Lex.
They'll set you straight.
All you need is a little bit of drugs
and a straight jacket. some drugs and a straitjacket, you'll be all right.
You created a clone in a piss pool. You're clearly crazy, Lex. You're going to Arkham Asylum. And it doesn't even say asylum, the cheeky fucks. Yeah. They try to, like, use like some other name for it. It's like,
for the emotionally
it's on an island. Like, it's on Arkham Island.
And my only takeaway from that is, like, maybe he's too rich to be in Arkham Asylum. Like, he's too good for the same place as the Joker. So they were like, because he's, like, Lex Luthor and he's rich, let's put him in, like, some rich
Why is he bald now, by the way?
Home for troubled people. Because he's Lex Luthor. He's bald Lex Luthor.
So he's got to be bald
here's the real twist. The real Shyamalan twist at the end is he was never a clone at all. He was always
just wearing a hairpiece the whole time.
I was just Lex Luthor.
But he's the Joker now.
Yeah.
And then Lex Luthor and Deathstroke meet on Luthor's yacht, and he tells Deathstroke Batman is Bruce Wayne. Then, after saying he is scared of Deathstroke, Lex calls him a good boy after he accepts a drink. Because he makes this big deal about how he's like, I wouldn't want to waste your time. I wouldn't want to offend you. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, and he's like cowing down to him like a little
and it's all meant to build
Jesse
Deathstroke.
Eisenberg.
It's all meant to build Deathstroke up to be like a super badass villain that even Lex Luthor is scared of.
Right.
But then, in the end, he's good boy.
Good boy.
Good boy,
Good boy, Deathstroke.
Good boy. That's a good boy. Who wants to kill someone?
Deathstroke want a cracker? Deathstroke want a cracker? I'll give you a cracker if you bring me Batman's head.
Here, have a fucking biscuit with that drink, boy. Have a biscuit with that drink.
Oh, man.
So stupid. Alright, then we're taken to this whole scene.
And this is where it brings in the continuity of Suicide Squad.
Post-apocalyptic Earth. Batman, Cyborg, Mira, Deathstroke, The Flash, and the Joker all hide from flying parademons and ships. Batman says we gotta hurry before he finds us, and Mira says, let him come, I'll kill him for what he did to Arthur. So we know that Aquaman died.
Yeah.
Batman says we gotta stick to the plan if we want any chance of making this right. Mira asks Batman who he has ever loved and how he can know how she feels. Joker Leto starts laughing. Do it, Chubbz. The most ridiculously annoying laugh that has ever laughed before.
And it is forced and easy to do.
It's so forced. And he is so bad as the Joker. And it
doesn't come across as a natural, amused laugh. And
here's another thing. Here's another thing, bro, is his performance in this is a lot different than his performance in the Suicide Squad.
Yes.
And this is where I would say that I believe that Jared Leto possibly could have done it, but not under David Ayers. Is it David Ayers? Is that his freaking name?
Yeah, I think so.
Or not under... Are you sure? That sounds like someone else.
Bright?
The dude who wrote
Bright.
Yes. So that guy got a shitty performance, and Zack Snyder got a shitty performance. Yes. And at some points in this, it's almost like he's emulating when we're going to be talking about him and Batman and their deal. In some of that case, he's acting like the Heath Ledger Joker. Mm-hmm. Like, there's parts of it that sound like a imitation of that. And then, like you were saying, there's part of it that sounds like Jim Carrey.
Yeah, there's one line in particular where I'm like, you're Jim Carrey Riddler now?
But at one point he does like the and he does the head shake and like the lip, the jowl kind of sounds
with
that Ledger did all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, he does that a lot.
He does it a lot. So I don't know what kind of direction he was getting, but his face tattoos are gone.
Mm-hmm.
They got rid of the face tattoos. He has the long hair because he just played in the Little Things.
Shiny
The Little Things is boring as shit. That is a boring-ass movie. Don't watch it.
Instead of the shiny gangsta grill, he's got, like, red teeth this time. He doesn't look like a juggaloker.
That's exactly what he looked like.
Juggalo.
Juggalo Kurt.
Looks like Jared Leto went to the gathering of the Juggalos and was like, hey, these are really cool people. I'm a Juggalo now.
Then he gave them all bunny masks and got them in his gang.
Yep.
Joker says to Mira that Batman knows what it's like to lose a father, a mother, and an adopted son. Batman mad. Joker taunts Batman, and Batman says he has his limit. Joker says something like, "You won't kill me. I'm best friend, and who's gonna give you a reach around?"
Yeah, this line. Besides, who's gonna give you a reach around?
Stupid fucking.
Because Zack Snyder wants Batman to get raped.
He's
wanting to rape Batman. If he could have a scene of the Joker anal raping Bruce Wayne, he would just laugh and be happy with it the rest of his life.
He would do it, dude.
He'd be like, yes, I want to have that scene.
I gotta tell you, it would be shot amazing. It would make no sense why they're fucking each other at all. And if you started to break down the plot of this porno, it would all fall apart on itself, but it would look real good. You'd see the Joker Leto giving the Fleck bat a reach around. It's so because he wants to watch him get raped. He does.
He does.
He said
he would like to see him get raped in prison. He said he wanted to see Batman get raped in prison.
I want to go dark with Batman. I want Bruce Wayne to get raped in prison. What? What?
Why?
Zack Snyder, dude. He just doesn't get Batman at all. That's apparent from this.
At all.
Oh. He says Batman can't kill him because he needs him to undo this world he created by letting her die. He says, poor Lois! How she suffered so! And that party kind of sounded like Bucktooth McIt guy.
Oh.
Skarsgård. The fucking Bucktooth Skarsgård it clown.
Freaking Eric from True Blood's younger brother.
That's why I wrote that down, because I remembered exactly how he said that as I read that. How she suffered so. It's so just, oh, wow.
His performance is terrible.
Whew.
Au contraire, my little fish stick.
Oh my hell,
fucking guy.
Oh my hell. He says he wonders how many other worlds Batman has destroyed because he doesn't have the cojones to die himself. He says he offers Batman a truce with a Joker's card, but if he wants, he can rip it in half, and Joker will discuss it any way he wants why Batman sent a boy wonder to do a man's job. Batman says it's funny of Joker to talk about people dying in his arms, because Harley Quinn once was bleeding and dying in his arms, and she made him promise that when he killed the Joker, he would do it slow, and he says he's gonna honor that promise. Joker acts mad and then says, "Oh, you're good, you almost had me." Then he once again laughs the most annoying laugh that has ever laughed in the history of laughs. Deathstroke asks Batman where they are going to hold up, and Batman says somewhere he will never find us. Deathstroke asks if he still thinks it was a good idea to bring the Joker along, and Batman says, "What do you think?" But it's like, if you don't think it's a good idea, why is he there?
Yeah.
Because we're gonna have a scene between the Leto Joker and the Batman.
Me to undo this
Batman
that you did by letting Lois die, my little fish stick. Maybe that smell your tuna is right, eh, Batman?
Batman. Cyborg hears a boom and beeps and says he has found us. Superman drops in and everyone gets ready for a fight. Joker laughs. Superman looks up and has red glowing eyes. Batman wakes up from the nightmare vision thingy in Wayne Manor, vacation home maybe, because we just don't know. It's that same house on the lake. It's by the lake where they were when they headed to fight Steppenwolf. He hears some explosions in the distance and walks outside to investigate and finds the alien guy who was pretending to be Martha Kent earlier in the movie. And all chill. He's just okay about this. And that's weird. Because wasn't that like Batman's greatest fear when Superman died was that alien forces were going to attack Earth? But he's just all mellow, like Batman.
This alien
He's
chose
an entirely new thing he's never seen or interacted with before is at his private manor vacation home thingy.
Yeah.
And he's just
chill. He even confronts him as Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
And he's not like, oh wow, you know who I am.
And it's
shocked.
Played
because he's not subtle. Anybody in this universe with half a brain would be like, yeah, Bruce Wayne is Batman.
He's the only one that can afford all.
And that's why every time something like this happens, or somebody's like, "Hey, Bruce Wayne, I know you're Batman," he's just like unfazed because.
Yeah. Well, it's stupid though that he's just unfazed with this because this is
like on
out of nowhere,
multiple different levels.
But the reason this exists is once again like the Ryan Choi scene, is it's there to be a tie-in, to the comics, so people can go, oh, Martian Manhunter's
They're gonna do more.
And so
Jones,
because that's the context, it's like Batman acts completely out of character because Batman wouldn't be chill with an alien super being floating on the part of on his private property and calling him out as Batman and Bruce Wayne and knowing who he is. Mm-hmm. He wouldn't be okay with that, but he is now because he's dumb. He hears some explosions in the distance and walks outside to investigate and finds the alien guy, blah, blah, blah. I've already read that. The alien tells Batman that Darkseid is not finished with Earth because the anti-life equation is here and they need it to find it before he does.
And do what? Package it up in a box and send it somewhere else?
This anti-life equation is so unexplained that I can't imagine what it can do. Since Darkseid has the power of the mother boxes. But we'll get into that. He says there is a war coming and that he is here to help. Batman asks him who he is because Batman doesn't know who this is. But he's like, okay, yeah, you're down to help. Cool.
Thank you. Who are you,
he says
by the way?
He says that he has taken many names and many forms, and he's come to realize he has a stake in this world, and it's time he started fighting for it. He says he never thought he would see the Defenders of Earth fighting together for it, and that it's all thanks to Bruce Wayne, and that his mother and father would be proud. Batman says he hopes so, to the guy he's never met, who's telling him his mother and father would be proud. The alien then says he will be in touch and that some have called him the Martian Manhunter. Batman says, I guess I'll see you around as the Mansion Mournhunter flies away. The end. Thank God.
The end.
Thank God. Oh, this movie. Okay. So, I would like to say right here that I think this could have been done. And I think that with a few tweaks, all of the elements used could still be used, but could play better to not only comic fans or fans of the material, but also general audiences who don't understand what the fuck is going on because all you're doing is dropping imagery and bullshit from the comics to get the fanboys' dicks to tingle. And it's annoying as shit, and it's apparent as hell this whole movie. And it's laziness. It's so lazy. It's like all we have to do is show a thing. We don't have to explain the thing. We just got to show a thing and they love it. They'll love it because they're fans of the comics and they'll just love it because they're fans.
Yeah.
And fans never question. Fans just love. Undying loyalty to the brand. Nothing supersedes the brand. That's the best thing that has ever been, and it will always be
The brand will never lead you wrong.
The brand will never die.
The brand will never lead you wrong.
I'll ride into Valhalla with the brand beside me. It will offer me wings into the halls of my fathers, so that me and the brand can live forever with the brand.
The brand. I love insert brand here.
It's the best insert brand here that
I am a fan of insert brand here.
Everything having to do with insert brand here is excellent and good, and I love it. Anyway, that I feel like for a starter, you redo Batman versus Superman. You have Lex Luthor be Lex Luthor, the conniving, super intelligent, superhuman intelligent person that he is, and then you have him working in a way to make Batman and Superman against each other, which makes sense. Then, on top of that, at the same time, you introduce Doomsday in a little side thing going on in the same time, where Lex is getting updates about the mining operation that is looking for rare alien crystals or something, and the technology has advanced so they can radar the ground, and they've sent some here. We're gonna go check it out. Cut to there in the movie and show that happening in parallel with Batman and Superman shit. And with Batman and Superman shit, you don't play that with a big badass fight with Batman becoming Iron Man all of a sudden, and like a full-blown fist fight so you can sell toys and cups at McDonald's.
And then it gets to Martha.
Instead of that, you have that drama of Batman versus Superman play out more intelligently in character drama, Batman following him, figuring out what he's weak to, Superman becoming aware that he's being followed and calling Batman out on it and questioning what he's up to, their intentions, whatever. And then that pinnacles in a moment when Lex lets Doomsday go because he figures Doomsday will kill Superman and finally he can be rid of him. And he thinks that he has a contingency to capture Doomsday. I don't know what it would be, but you could easily make one so that it would make sense that he would let it go. But then, in the end, you have it and Doomsday end up killing Superman, and Superman, just hurling Doomsday into the center of the fucking sun. And then you could do this, and then you leave. Here's the thing about the mother boxes. This is where I think you could do the mother boxes justice. It's just a couple of things. One, have it be that they have to be on the planet for X amount of time, because they have to acclimate themselves to the planet and become ready for the synchronization, and it takes thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years for those mathematical equations to come about to where they can unify and terraform the planet and take over the populace. Then you explain that the anti-life equation is able to be used in such a manner that when introduced into the mother box's technology, that he could do that instantly, and when he would do it, it would do it to every world, everybody, blah blah blah. It would advance the mother box technology from what would be considered to them an inconvenient Stone Age sort of technology, where we've got to go to this planet and put them on the planet and let them slowly absorb data and finally get to the point where we can synchronize them over to the point where we do it once with one set of mother boxes and it does it to the all existence.
Mm-hmm.
So that sets up why that is necessary for him to find. Because right now, the only reason that we're given by this fucking up its ass movie that Darkseid wants the anti-life equation is to control life and all of existence within the old verse. But he can do that.
Or some shit, yeah.
But he can do that already. He has that technology to do that already.
Mm-hmm.
He can come to your planet, synchronize mother boxes right away, because that's what he was doing in the past when we see him for the first time on Earth. He can use those right away and you do it to your planet. And he's never lost. He's never been beaten except for once. And that just so happens to be the planet where the mother boxes are
left behind
at a cost because of his loss, right? So that's the cost of his failure, is he has to abandon the mother boxes on this planet. That's why they're here. Then he forgets about where it is. He has the technology to wipe out an entire planet, but he doesn't have basic navigation or some sort of mapping technology that would tell him where he's been before,
or where he is,
where he found the thing that he wants more than anything in the entire universe.
Yeah.
On the planet where he lost the only fight he's ever lost in the entire universe.
Yeah.
It's like, you're fist fucking me with this logic, movie.
Yeah.
And it's really uncomfortable, and I wish you'd stop doing it.
Yeah, because that's the thing about it, is it does it repeatedly.
Over and over again.
That's over like why it's just...
But you make it so, like, I'm just going to plow through this. And I want you to go into the Flash and like more of the stuff that you would have done with him, because there's lots of ways that he could have been utilized and set up in this movie where he's not only already established, like they obviously wanted him to be, since they don't do any explanation on his backstory. They're just like, he's the Flash, he's fast, that's it.
Yeah.
That's all you get. But I feel like you take the technology of the mother boxes, you limit them that way, then you have it be that it's not Darkseid who was here, it's someone else who was here in his stead, and I'd call these Reapers or whatever they are. I don't know what their official title is in the comics or the lore. I don't know. I would say they're like Reapers, and they come in after the mother boxes have reached the point where they can be synchronized together, and they synchronize them, wipe the planet out. But the first thing they do when they arrive on the planet to position the mother boxes, put them in place around the Earth, so that at a point in time they can synchronize and be brought together. Instead of that, have it be that he's noticed while he's coming to the planet, and the first thing they do when they're on the planet is they check for the anti-life equation. And you show this as like a smaller group of, individuals, not a massive collective of like all like it's his armada. His whole armada. No one remembers this place. You have it be like an isolated group, because their whole deal is they go in stealthily and they plant the mother boxes, blah 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 blah. You have them get into an encounter with either Amazonians or ancient gods or something, and then the ancient gods divvy out the mother boxes to be protected, because they glean from this guy what they're doing before they kill him. But before they kill him and before they even see him setting them up, they hear him communicating with Darkseid and telling Darkseid that he's found the anti-life equation on this planet, and as he's about to send coordinates, that's when whoever attacks and stops him. So then you just have Darkseid know that it's one of his people who takes the mother boxes out and puts them on the planets so they can ready for synchronization. And so he's got this tension where he wants it so bad, and he himself starts going to worlds and reaping them, because he knows that it's a planet that has three. Yeah, it's one of them. It's one of the ones that have been placed, but he doesn't know where. And he knows that guy lost, so he thinks maybe it could be a threat. And so he tells everyone, but when you get to the planet, check it to see if it has this on it. Then you have Steppenwolf when he arrives. It makes sense that he's here. He's here because this is what he does for Darkseid. He goes to planets where these mother boxes have reached the point where they can synchronize, and he synchronizes them and takes them over for Darkseid. That's what he does. That's his job, and he's doing it because he's being punished. And he owes an amount of worlds to Darkseid before he's free. You have him in the process of claiming the first mother box, testing the planet, figuring it out, contacting Darkseid, and you have Darkseid say, I'm on my way. I'm coming with the armada. Because you have this whole situation where the first guy who died is strong enough that he's worried about it and he ain't taking any chances. There you go, that sets that up. Steppenwolf is like in contact with him throughout the movie, much the same way he is with Desaad and shit. But in this case, instead of it being like, oh, I found the planet you lost because you're a dumbass. It's like, this is how the search is going. I've gotten the first box. By the time you get here, I promise this planet will be cleansed. If you concede to that Steppenwolf, all your past wrongs will be forgiven, and you will fight on my side as we bring anti-life to the entire universe. Something like that. It's the same thing. It just makes sense. And I guess that's why they didn't do it. And that's me just fucking spitballing out of my ass. And I'm not paid a goddamn thing to do it. And it's better than what you did. And that's what ultimately pisses me off so bad about this shit, is how much money is getting thrown into a burning building just to burn it all down. You're all the Joker. They're all the fucking Joker.
Yeah. All the Heath Ledger Joker.
It's a bad fucking joke.
Burning the pile of cash.
And that's what I feel like about it. I feel like that it could have been done. And
I feel like it easily could have been done.
And I feel like that it needed to be done in a way such as that there's always a threat that needs Superman. The likes of Superman, the likes of Wonder Woman, the likes of the Flash, the likes of Aquaman. You need to have a threat that warrants the use of these extremely powerful individuals.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, that was more important than the story to them.
You need more to flesh out certain developmental ideas. And this is where I say let it breathe. And I say, like, you don't let it breathe like Marvel let it breathe. Like, Marvel left it out in the open air until it got stale. Alright?
Well, some aspects of it did.
But, like, that's the thing about DC, is I say, like, have a Flash movie before this one. And then that way you can establish the multiverse and the science fiction elements with the source material.
But I'd agree. I would agree that that's the way it should be done, for sure. But I'd argue that you could do the Flash better than they did the Flash.
Yeah. You could even be like, Flash goes to one of the Earths that Steppenwolf...
Just have him be working with Silas.
Yeah.
Have him be working with Silas. Have him be aware of Cyborg's existence.
Yeah.
Have him be the one that Batman finds first, and then he tips them off about Cyborg. And then they introduce Cyborg, and Cyborg tells them himself. Instead of them looking on Batman's computer and seeing the scene that we're going to see later of Cyborg showing them what it is. How about you just let Cyborg show them? Because the Flash introduces them. Because the Flash works at Star Labs with Silas. And he's really good friends with Silas. And Silas let him in on the fact that there was a horrible accident. And that's why he's been acting fucked up. And he had to use the mother box to save his son. And the Flash is super smart. Because he is. And so he's curious. And they get interested. And blah, 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 blah. They figure out the extent of Cyborg's powers, and in the process you do some explaining, because while he's mentoring Cyborg about how he's come to terms with his powers, he's explaining what his powers are and how he came to terms with them and how he came to have them. And then he's not some jokey, annoying Chris Kattan-like fucking caricature of some fucking Peter Parker thing that you want in your movie. Ooh, the Flash is so bad, bro. They never let him be badass. How about in that scene where Batman's taking on those troopers, you just see the Flash flying around him, taking out a bunch of them that would have gotten through into his blind spot. You should let Flash be badass at the same time Batman's being badass. Or maybe he helps Wonder Woman by actually doing something besides getting her sword to her fucking moments faster before ultimately eating shit into a concrete stairway. I hate this movie. It's just like almost as if they didn't give a shit. And I know that Zack Snyder had that tragedy happen, and that can explain like how he could be disconnected from the experience and, you know, ultimately step away and leave it. But
and it is important to note, but it doesn't excuse.
It doesn't excuse this sort of. It doesn't excuse this sort of incompetence.
The poor quality of writing.
This is bad.
Is bad.
This is someone not understanding how bad it is, and that's someone who you need to tell this is bad to.
Yeah.
So they can look at it, and that's another thing is how many of these people are just like they just tell them whatever they want to hear. Like, this is so good, it's good. And the whole time in the back of their heads they're like, this is a fucking disaster. Do you think at any point Affleck was just like, this is not gonna work? this is bad.
Oh, I'm sure.
Or Henry Cavill, like those, but they're just like,
But yeah, they can't say anything because they're actors.
They're there to do their fucking job. Yeah, they're there to play the job.
Yeah, you're there to play this character.
And in that aspect, I think almost all of the actors in this movie, aside from Wonder Woman and the dude who played Barry, I think almost, and even Wonder Woman, and I'm not going to put her in the same category as Barry, because I don't think Barry had a single likable moment in the fucking movie. For me, I didn't like a single moment of the Flash in this movie. I felt like he was a plot contrivance that was there because he's in the Justice League. He was a plot contrivance there because the second they needed someone to jack the power into the ship, all of a sudden the Flash's powers are useful. Once they need someone to give Cyborg a jolt to get him into the mother box so he can confront and divide and separate it, he's useful. But outside of that, he's never useful. And he's only there because he's in the Justice League. They're like, you have to have him in it. And he's going to be in it, but he's going to suck because I don't give a shit about the Flash. But Wonder Woman didn't do as bad as him, but she had some parts where you were just like, oh my god.
And it's mainly when the writers wrote her
But
character
Cyborg, Aquaman, Batman, Alfred, almost all of them were good at acting. It was just the plot that did them dirty. It wasn't that they weren't interesting and compelling in that role. And you see moments in all of them where even with the Flash, there's moments where you're like, this could be awesome. And it's pretty much that early scene where he's saving her. Mm-hmm. Where you're okay, he could be cool, but then you realize he's not going to be cool. He's trying to get a job at a pet store because he wants to get into criminal psychology to get his dad out of jail. So why is he at a pet store? It's so stupid. None of it makes sense. Mm-hmm. How did he get his powers? Oh, we're just not going to say. He's the Flash. He's super fast. We know that. His name is the Flash.
He's the Flash.
It's the Flash, dude. You know what he does. Duh. Mm-hmm. But meanwhile, Cyborg, he's a cyborg. It could work just as easily. He gets a very well played out story.
And that's why I say
it has a dumb ending.
In context for this movie, either cut the Flash out entirely or establish him in his own solo movie.
I would have just cast the dude from the TV show. I think he would have done a better job. And I would have just inserted him at Star Labs, and I would have had that play out and have him part of Cyborg's
a lot of
origin.
Elements that they brush over in this movie.
Yeah.
That they need to flesh out before they convolute it down.
It doesn't even matter if you
because
flesh
now
it out.
you have Diana like he's feared in every universe, and you have Steppenwolf being like
when you don't even
ability
need to, say
control all wills and life throughout the multiverse, and it's like, so all right, cool. Cool.
It's not good. I'd say it was worth watching, and I'm glad I watched it, but I'm glad that I'm never going to have to watch it again as well. But I would recommend it, especially if you're interested in what it's about. And if you have any passing interest with any of these characters, just to come in and see them and see how dumb they do to them. Like, our first viewing was pretty entertaining. For the first half, because we were actually enjoying it, because a lot of the first half is really good. And then the last half, because we couldn't stop laughing our balls off at how stupid it was. It wasn't until I started taking notes that I started to become angry with the movie. Mm-hmm. Up to that point, I was having fun, and it was just funny. Like, I felt like it was so funny.
That they would expect you to
the
take
balls
this
on
shit
it.
serious.
Yeah, remember?
To the point where now they have it in black and white. Justice is gray. Justice is gray. Okay.
You put it in black and white, and all of a sudden it's an art house film, Chubbz.
I guess.
That's how it works. That's why Clerks was so good, because it was in black and white. It had nothing to do with anything else.
Zack Snyder just wanted
it was just because it was in black and white. That's why it was good. He's like, all of a sudden, we watched, you know what? We watched the black and white version, guys. The gaping black plot holes in the plot, they're all gone. It's weird. The second you put it in black and white, it makes everything make sense.
It turns all the black holes into white holes.
It inverses them.
Yep.
We're not watching the inverted color version. That's coming next
Much
week.
like in Infamous Superman and Bizarro Superman.
Like they still didn't like it? Fuck. Release the black and white version, HBO. It's the only option.
Well, we got one more option. There's an 8-part miniseries we could do.
Or,
maybe,
you know...
maybe people like digesting it that way.
You could have just written a good story that made sense.
Yeah.
There's plenty of ways to do it. I just gave you one, and that's spitballing out of my ass.
Oh, yeah.
If you paid me millions of dollars, I guarantee you I could deliver you better shit than that. You know why? Because I'd find someone who's passionate about it and wants it to be amazing, and I'd have them fucking help me write it. And guess what? It'd be awesome and amazing, and it would make sense.
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason, these fuckers, and it's not just this, it's a lot of things, that people are just getting paid to waste money on just garbage. This is like, you want to do this, go be a drama school teacher in a fucking, like, middle school. Go be a drama teacher in a middle school. Because then this shit don't matter. You can write dumb shit like this that doesn't make any sense. And, you know, parents will clap because they have to. Because they love their kids. Then you can get applause. Don't go waste billions of dollars. Take all the talented people who made the costume design, made all these sets, all the CGI effect artists, which I think a lot of that is top notch in this. At least in this one, the Snyder Cut. Take all their time, and it's all spent on a waste of fucking time. All their talent, all of their love for what they're doing, all the passion they're doing, falls apart if the writer doesn't give a shit. And the 3 people who wrote this movie didn't give a shit. And I'm glad we watched it, and I'm glad we're done.
Done.
I'm done, Chubbz. You want to say any more?
We're done with this movie.
We're done.
Done.
Let's go play some fucking Cyberpunk, bro. Love you guys. Talk to you later. Till next time, stay safe, stay awesome, and as always, keep kicking fucking ice.